for Tara. All right, tonight is Sunday, July 30th, 2023. And here we are. I gave a little bit of thought about the Dharma talk tonight just because I saw Oppenheimer last night. And I do feel this is a movie to see. This is a real movie of our generation to see, to understand moral dilemmas in scientific, I don't want to say achievement because this is not, it's an achievement, but it's not because it's harmful achievement, but it was really, really, really powerful. So, and I really expected not to like it because I don't typically like to go to movies because I can't stand to hear people chewing popcorn and I can't stand hearing rustling in their candy and I feel like I'm going to go out of my mind. So normally I don't like it. And so I kind of expected to just not like it and I'm going to be there for 3 hours and I did not want it to end. I did not want it to end. And Einstein makes an appearance in it. And every time Einstein came on the screen, I cry. I don't know what it is about Einstein. I sob when I see him. It's just this bizarre. Anytime I talk about him, I get choked up. It's this weird thing with Einstein. But for us tonight, and I know last week we kind of had our little homework to do during the week. We'll talk about that in the afterwards. But there was a real moral dilemma that came up for Oppenheimer in this creation of this weapon of mass destruction. And it's not something I ever thought about before. And it was just really powerful to see that there is humanity even in destruction, and having to weigh your humanity even amongst inevitable destruction is kind of something that I know that if I were to hear that, I would get really, really stubborn and say, no, there's no moral dilemma about this. This was not, it's black and white. And about anything in our life that is like potentially destructive, you think, or at least I thought, that I would take a stance one way or the other. And this movie really challenges you to realize there's a much bigger picture at play, even within your own moral dilemma. And it's just really powerful to watch. So I don't know what the next time you, one, go see it, and two, next time you're in a moral dilemma, release yourself of needing that dilemma to be black and white, because sometimes it's just not. And we have to deal with that. And I think they did an excellent job. So that's our little Dharma talk this evening, for whatever that's worth. And we could jump right in to our cozy meditation. I meditated outside for a little bit today and I was like, ooh, let me hang on to this for later. So I want to see if this is what comes through. So I have an agenda tonight, but anytime I've had an agenda, it never works out that way. So we'll see. Let me just set my little alarm. Okay. So you can get yourselves in your meditation positions. Just let yourself settle into your space right here, right now. And I want you to, when you're ready, you can close your eyes. I want you to imagine right away, as you settle into your body and you breathe, I want you to just imagine that your thoughts are like raindrops that wash over you and drip out of you. And at first, when we meditate, You can often get like a deluge of thoughts. So you can visualize a huge body of water of thoughts moving through your brain, and then let them just sort of rain down around you and fall to the floor. You can let them puddle up at the floor at your feet. You can imagine that rain sinks into the earth and nourishes the earth. You can imagine the rain finds its way to a nearest river and is carried away by the flow. And imagine your mind just becomes a steady river, steady flow of rain, almost like buckets and buckets of water getting dropped right through the crown of your head. And there's so many thoughts, so many buckets of thoughts dripping, flowing into your head. There's so many that you can't possibly focus on any one of them. So instead, see them all as just this steady stream leaving you. Maybe each thought falls to the floor or to the ground as a drop. And the goal is not to dry up from thoughts, but to allow the steady stream, the steady flow, this rain of thoughts moving through your body. In fact, the more, the better. The more you have, the less you can think of any one of them. And imagine you must hold your body upright in order to hold the container for these thoughts to flow through. So allow your posture and your spine to get a little bit taller, still remaining comfortable. And tuck the chin ever so slightly. Pull your shoulders back and down away from your ears. And your posture will help this steady stream of thought as it moves through you and falls around you. And all of these thoughts that are making this steady stream begin to actually cleanse you and clear you. So imagine the stream of thought is so heavy, is so constant that you get blurred, not able to focus on anyone, but you allow all of them. And that flow is just moving through every cell of your body, every vein, every artery, every muscle, every tendon, every bone. It is bringing a clearing. And find your breath. And allow the flow to become whatever you desire it to be, whether it's a trickle of water, of thoughts, or it remains this heavy flow. Maybe you can experience each thought as a drip. Find your breath and notice what the flow does. There's no right or wrong flow. Just observe it as it is. Continue to focus on your breath and allow your lungs to breathe in deeper. Maybe you hold your breath at the top of every inhale. And then hold your breath after a long exhale. And slow your breathing down and expand the quality of your breath as you breathe deeply into your lungs. Relax your face. Relax your jaw and your teeth and your tongue. And feel the breath as it goes in and out of the body. Relax your neck. Relax your shoulders. Relax your upper back. Relax your biceps and triceps, your forearms. Relax your hands. Relax your chest, your diaphragm, your solar plexus, your mid-back. Relax your abdomen and lower back. Relax your hips and your pelvis. Relax both legs all the way down through your shins and calves and feet. Imagine yourself becoming aware of the magnetic energy of the center of the earth. And begin to imagine that you can feel a magnetic pull on your body, drawing you closer to the earth. And this particular magnetic resonance is pulling away any negative ions in your body, pulling away any inflammation, pulling away any tension or frustration. And imagine you can almost feel your body getting gently pulled down towards the earth. And imagine yourself feeling all of this magnetic pull drawing out of your body. Imagine it's like lead fibers getting pulled away from you, returning to the center of the earth. And notice where on your body all of these no longer necessary ions, where are they getting pulled mostly from? Or is it pretty even throughout your body? Or is it coming out just from the bottom of your feet? Imagine all of this negativity, tension, stress, depression, fatigue, pain. Earth is taking it from you. In fact, think of it as the earth needing this from you so it can get pulled to the center of the earth where it's transformed by the chemical reactions going on inside the earth. Imagine that all of this energy that your body does not want to hold is needed by the earth, so freely hand it over and give it. Give it all permission to get drained out and away from your body. Notice if it flows more freely as you decide to give it generously to the earth. Begin to imagine that your body is becoming so light and flexible and free. Burdens have been pulled from you. Desire has been pulled from you. Desire that leads into longing and hoping and wishing and waiting. Imagine your body is just this now vibrating core of healthy, positive energy. Imagine you begin to almost levitate out of your body, and imagine your cells start to pull apart a little bit, and that your form is not so compactly tight in one body, but now that we've released this negativity, there's more space in your body. So begin to gently imagine yourself expanding ever so slightly. Feel yourself getting taller, longer, wider, side to side, front to back. Imagine there's a pulsation, almost like a heartbeat of vibration that's opening up inside of you. And slowly but surely just expand even just a little bit more beyond the perceived limitations of your physical body. Allow yourself to slowly fill the room you are occupying right now. There's so much space in your body, but there's really no beginning and no end. And all of your particles are now just contained in the container of your room versus the container of your body. Imagine that your eyes are in millions of particles in this room. Allow your awareness to float around the room. Let your eyes be wherever those particles arrange themselves. Let your particles begin to drift even beyond the container of the walls that you're in right now. Begin to drift off into other parts of your homes or even outside your home. And to expand not only upward, but down into the earth, in front of you and to both sides. Expand almost like a bubble, growing larger and larger, but is made of trillions of particles. And if anyone else could see the you as your expanded self, all your particles from far away might even look like a ginormous flock of birds sort of moving in confluence, expanding, but moving. and expand high above your home. And imagine millions of particles that make up your eyes while they're expanded. It's like millions of little drones that are taking pictures and hovering. You can see the earth below you. And gently begin to take a view around your surroundings, just as they are right now. And continue to expand. And the more you expand, further apart each particle of your eyes go. You're covering more ground and able to see endlessly below you. You can look up and see above you as well. Look behind you, up, down. Continue expanding. With every inhalation and exhalation, a full cycle of breath, you expand exponentially. The further apart each particle of you gets, the faster you expand. Allow all the parts of you to be spread out, hovering over the earth, hovering through the galaxy itself, not just our solar system, but the galaxy. And imagine there's a part of you in every corner of the universe. Whatever part of you you focus on is the part of you you experience. A part of you is riding a comet. You get to experience that. If a part of you is deep under the ocean on Earth, you get to experience that. Let your imagination just expand and see different parts of you, different aspects of you, all over this galaxy, all over the universe. Get to the point where you're aware of all of your particles spread out all across the universe. You can continue to have experiences with each particle, or you can focus on the space in between the particles where nothing exists. It's your choice. Begin to slowly make a decision to begin to pull your particles gently back towards each other. And as slowly as we expanded out, we're going to slowly drift back down and into our bodies. Notice if there's any parts of your body, your cells, that you want to leave in outer space. Slowly but surely watch as all those particles, all the corners of the universe begin to collapse slowly and gently back towards Earth. You don't have to rush this process at all. Begin to see yourself getting sort of smaller and smaller and more compact as you're hovering over the earth, and then over North America, and then over your state. And see yourself hovering over your town. Start to gently pull yourself as you notice your home. Start to pull your particles back down gently into your house, into your room. Bring them all back into your physical body. Compile those trillions of cells and particles back to a newer, lighter, more aware self. And feel all your particles sitting in your chair, your bed, or your floor. And notice where there's more space in your body. Those are where the particles did not return. Begin to gently sway and rock and twist and stretch and turn. Only do so in your own time and very slowly and gently. Feel your fingers and your toes. Get yourself fully back into your body, not rushing anything. Notice what it feels like to be packed tightly in your body. This is your solid self, the self made of matter. And feel yourself made of matter without labels and without the storyline of thoughts. When you're ready, and only when you are ready, you can begin to flutter your eyes open ever so gently. Get ready. You can turn on your lights, but only when you're ready. You can go ahead and turn on your cameras. If you turned your cameras off earlier, you don't have to come on camera. As a reminder, you can log off at any time. And then with a show of thumbs, how did you feel about this one? Thumbs up, thumbs middle, thumbs down. Not sure. All over the board. Okay, so you guys know the drill. Who wants to not necessarily share the blow by blow of each thing, but maybe think of one aspect of it that stood out for you, or share sort of the overriding experience without having to go through every single step. And that's partially for your own, especially with this one. We went to an expanded state of being. And I kind of want to get at what that felt like, not your journey there, unless there was something so remarkable about your journey there that you want to share, if that makes sense. Laura, were you coming online to share? Go ahead.
Hello. So in my heightened part, it was interesting because I was both very expanded, but also small too at the same time. I saw, so as I, it was really weird. So as I expanded out, and you told us to either be at the points or in the middle, I went to the middle, and it was very kind of calm and peaceful. But from that became, it was like almost like gelatin, where it was like everything's connected, and the visual of that was just, I kind of saw even though it was just I was in between me, I could also see me at the same time, but just connected to everything through this clear gel. I don't know, it was, I don't know, it was really cool, but I don't really, I was just experiencing it. I think it's actually one of the times where I didn't have, like, I wasn't thinking necessarily. What I've noticed, what I sometimes do is I think about, what am I going to say about this, like when I'm there. And so I did do that a couple times, but otherwise it just was kind of feeling it and noticing it. And it was, yeah, it just really felt like everything. I was way out in the universe, way, 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 way out. So yeah.
I love it. And that gel is a thing. It's, yes, it was your experience, but I don't remember what they call it or what it is called, but it's almost I'm trying to in my brain get the catalog of like, where did you read this? Where did you see this? I know it's almost like ectoplasmic-y, not an ectoplasm. Yeah.
That's how it, yeah, that's exactly whatever that is, that's how it looked. It was, yeah.
Right. Yeah. I know we all
It's like
think of
this,
like
like,
Ghostbusters, but
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, like a kind of like, yeah.
Yep.
And yeah, it kind of had like, it was, yeah, and it kind of was like, I don't know, yeah, it was exactly what you'd picture it to be.
Yep. Yeah. And that's a real thing that's been discovered, if you will. And I don't know the proper phraseology, what it's called. It's ectoplasmic-y, but it's something else. And it's been discovered that there is some sort of like they wouldn't use the word gel, but exactly what you're explaining. So it's very cool when we have an experience that actually has been discovered, but we don't know. Like I didn't know that,
Right.
you know, just a few months ago, I didn't know that. So it's cool.
Yeah, because I felt like I was I felt like I was a tiny, tiny cell, but at the same time, bigger than I could even imagine. So it was weird to have both of those, but all connected with that gel.
Yes. Very cool.
Yeah.
And very, very succinct too. Did anyone else have that dual feeling of being so small but so big at the same time? I wasn't necessarily aware of that until you bring that to my awareness in my meditation. So it's not like that was something I was noticing, but that is essentially what I felt without knowing that I felt it until you said that. So thank you. Who else? I kind of liked this one. This was not, by the way, not even close to the agenda I had tonight. Not even close, which I find that so fascinating because even when I try, I was going to do like, almost like creative visualization in a new way tonight. That was what I did this afternoon on my deck. And I was like, I am so doing this for meditation tonight. And that always proves to me like, this is not about me. Like it really truly is channeled through me because I was so excited this afternoon where I was like, oh my God, that was so great. I'm going to do that with them tonight. So just as an aside, this had nothing to do with what I intended to do. I liked this much better. All right. Who wants to share? Yeah, go ahead, Ken.
It's not that I had any great experience, but it was more of the experience of what it would be, what reality of what it's like with our energy, just being able to just go out and expand and go to all different places that we don't even realize it. But it's just that reality of that feeling of how, it's so expansive that we're part of everything. You just expand and you expand and you expand, and you could be part of something, somebody's whatever's going on in the world. You're just part of it, and you don't even realize it, but you are, because that's what your energy does. Especially depending on where you're at a particular moment. But that's what your energy does. It just expands, and it's just part of a lot of different things at the same time. I was thinking this morning about the soul, how somebody that's in the soul world can be with this person and that person and here and there and with 8 people or 9 people, whatever going on in the spirit world all at the same time. And that's the same feeling that I got here, that if we allow ourselves to expand and go out, we can be part of so many different things. At the same time, it probably can be negative sometimes too, because we're thrown into all different situations that we have to make sense out of too, and that can influence us. But yeah, we can expand and be part of, but that's still, we still are what we are. So I thought that was really cool as part of how we don't even realize it, that we do it, but we do it.
Yep. Anyway, all the time, right?
And even if you have little pieces of you that are out there, and then everything else is just like whatever in between, it's still all part of you, and it's still all all one big thing.
Yep. Because what we also didn't do tonight, like, and if anyone had this experience, please tell me now, but we were all focusing on our today self, our physical self, my Deborah self, your Jill self, your Ken self, your Marianne self, whoever your self is. And we visualize that in many different molecules, many different particles. And we visualized that expanding, and we were all over the universe. And then there was that gelatinous stuff for Laura in between her. But don't forget that we weren't alone. We were all doing that. So let's just take our however many, 20 of us in here, 18 of us in here. We didn't really think to bump into. I didn't think like, oh wow, there's Bonnie's cells. Oops, there's Cindy. Oops, excuse me, Cindy. Like we didn't bump into each other. One, because we were still focused on our one human self expanded. But now take that just times 18 of us. We were all one in that big expanded state, but we were only focusing in on our particles, but we were amongst everyone else's particles. That was 18 of us doing this right now, let alone the fact that that's how it works about every living cell. 8 billion people, however many trillion trees and sand and all of that. I mean, we forget, like, so when we say that we're all one, I mean, if we pull out on that level, it's sort of like, oh yeah, wait, you know, we are amongst each other in that whole process. Does that make sense? Or is that like a at least clear visual of like, yeah, you're right. Like I wasn't focusing in on bumping into you guys. Yeah, go ahead, Joan.
Maybe I was inadvertently unaware of that, but I thought I kind of had the gel, but my visual, it's because I'm crazy, but you know, when you cooked a corned beef and the next day, all that gook this kind of on it, that's kind of what I saw, but I assumed it was pieces of me. I was completely free. I was out there, but I was connected with something, but it was like, there's pieces over here, there's pieces over here. And I just assumed it was me. Maybe it was.
Well, it is you, and then it is me too, because we're bouncing up against each other. So it's at what point that this gets to where like, where do I begin and where do you begin? Where do I begin? Where do you end? That sort of concept.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've been doing a lot. Well, even my angel cards are coming up, releasing and letting go. And I was like, whew, just let go of everything. And it felt good to be kind of at a 0 point but aware of a 0 point, if that makes sense.
Totally. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, I enjoyed this one, but I did kind of have that gel thing, only mine was corned beef. I must be hungry. Maybe I'm hungry.
It's interesting too, because the human body, we have what's called fascia, right? The fascia is what basically keeps everything together. It's kind of like it's like when you open up an orange and then each individual, if you cut an orange up and you peel it out, that skin that keeps the orange in each piece. Basically, we have that throughout our whole body. And our fascia system is our communication system. So anytime that's where all our energy moves and travels throughout the whole body, along with meridians and all of that stuff as well. But the fascia is the web, the gel, if you will, that kind of transmits the energy and stuff. So like the fascia of the meat of corned beef is what that is, I think. I'm pretty sure it is, where it's the stuff that holds that meat together.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Which is, it shows up everywhere, and we call it fascia for the human body. I don't know if it's called fascia for animal. You know what I mean? Like it shows up. It's a thing in nature that is real. So of course it is in our universe as well. As below, as above, so below, that sort of thing.
I didn't want to come back though. I had a tough time pulling it all.
I saw that with you
together.
actually.
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't want to.
How many of you didn't want to come back? I know. It's so hard to get back into that body. Kelly, are you raising your hand to go next? No? Okay. All right. Who else wants to share? Yeah, go ahead, Cindy.
I think I've missed a couple of meditation sessions lately, and I really feel the difference. But for this one, when you said about expanding out, I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I really had a lot of like resistance to it. And then I was like, all right, fine, I'll just try it. And then when I tried it, it was fine. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm still like sort of fully connected to all my different aspects, and I'm not really leaving any of my aspects. I'm just experiencing like other ones. So it was fine, but I did have a lot of resistance to expanding out. And when we were like sort of coming back into our bodies, I had such a strong sensation of like, I sort of like slid in this very smooth way back into like my body. And it was so satisfying to like slide back into my body. I was like,
Oh, that's good.
yeah. And then just it almost felt like it had nothing to do with the meditation, because it was very out of place with the meditation. But I had like this very sort of clear like visual of like it was like Jesus as a carpenter, and he was like creating some sort of big wooden abstract thing, which I didn't recognize what it was. And he was like throwing up like a hammer as a like in a playful, joyful sort of way. And I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, we're making something grand, Cindy. I was like, okay, but that so had nothing to do. It wasn't in line with the meditation at all. It was just sort of like this weird little like almost cameo. I'm like, okay, sure, why not? But it was strange.
You're freaking me out because either I picked up on yours or you picked up on mine. I think it's you picking up on mine. At one point, when I told everyone you can experience yourself or go in between cells or particles, I had a flashback to my experience in Costa Rica with the 4 healer people that came to me. And one of them was right here. And the whole thing in that meditation was that they were very far from me. And I kept saying, how do I get closer to you? And since then, that was March. And since then, I have worked every day to get closer. Like either you come down to me or me go up to you. But if we got closer, I could hear you and I could know who you are. And tonight, one of them was right here. And I went, oh my God, you're right next to me. And I said, what's your name? Just give me your name, please. He tells me a name and long story, long story. And then all of a sudden, none of them were Jesus, but all of a sudden I had a whole Jesus thought. And I was like, wait, are you Jesus? And then I was like, no, it was my brother, actually, I think. And then I'm like, wait, but you seem like Jesus. And then I thought to myself, oh, come on, Deb, you can't. What, your brother's Jesus? So I had this whole offshoot story going on. Oh, so now I'm the sister of Jesus, kind of joking to myself in this whole thing. And I was like, all right, that makes sense. All right, mom is Mary and dad is Joseph, the carpenter. And then I had this whole long thought about like how they were carpenters. And so you're validating, and I'm validating yours. You're validating mine, because there was a whole side story.
Yeah, it came through as a side story, and I was like, wait, what? Like
Literally.
yeah.
And yes, so you picked up on that because, and then I laughed. I was kind of in a joking mood because I felt so excited. The guy, the healer, the one of the 4 that I saw was right next to me. And I've been trying since March to get this feeling. And so that's pretty cool.
Do you know what they were building? Because I couldn't tell what this abstract thing was. And I was like, what is it? All I know is it was like something they said, well, Jesus, as the carpenter said, it was something grand. So I was like, okay.
That's so crazy. I do remember being like, oh my God, you're carpenter. Oh, Joseph, you're a carpenter. And I was kind of joking with my brother, which then I found out it's not my brother. So I still don't know who it is. because it kissed me on the lips. Here, I'm going to get intimate. I normally don't share my stuff with you, but it kissed me on my lips and I'm like, this is terrible. Like, if you're my brother, I'm just really upset right now. And it was like, I'm not your brother. It was the whole thing. And I'm like, okay, so I'm not the sister of Jesus. Are you Jesus? And then, but he wasn't Jesus either, but there was a whole Jesus theme. So
That
yeah.
is crazy that you're telling me that you felt like somebody kissed you on the lips, because I was like, oh, somebody just kissed me on the lips. What was that? So that is, now you're really freaking me out. But I didn't know who that was or what that was. I was just like, wait, that's like, where's that? Like, again, it was like a whole side story. I'm like, there are too many channels going on. Like, I don't know who is what. Like, that's so weird. That's so, I wish I like understood what all that was about, but I don't.
Well, you know what? We were tangled. So I thought I was in Deborah land and you thought you were in Cindy land, but clearly our gelatinous ectoplasm was overlapping and sending signals to each other.
Right.
Because yeah, it was like, you can't be my brother. Why'd you kiss me like that? And then I remember thinking, are you Greg? You should be Greg, as if I just cheated on Greg in my meditation. It was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. It was very real though. It was very cool.
I don't,
And it
yeah.
was like, I'm not Greg either. And I was like, well, then
Yeah.
who are you? Big eyes. I saw big eyes with great eyelashes. Super wild. Kelly, what? Oh my God. When
Could you send them to me, please?
Kelly, unmute.
I always sketch while I'm meditating or like right after while I'm in between. And there's my sketch.
Wow.
Creepy.
That's the eyes, the crazy big
Yeah.
blue eyes. Wow. This is crazy. This is fun.
Can't make this shit
You
up.
totally can't.
And a teddy bear and a dragonfly, if that's a nod for anybody. I don't know.
Great art pieces,
Well,
Kelly.
thank you. You know. Thanks.
Wow. This is a weird night. What am I going to call this one?
It's a weird night.
Jesus and Deborah betrayal.
Gelatinous Jesus.
Gel-
Oh my God.
Gelatinous Jesus night. I just might call it that. Wow.
Oh my God.
This is so wild and so fun. Anyone else want to share your thoughts? Did anyone else have? I had a Mary Magdalene thought because I was like, am I Mary Magdalene? Isn't that the sister of Jesus? And then I'm like, no, that was the wife of Jesus. It was a story. Yeah, Jill, go ahead.
So not much to share. I think it's a surgery thing that I was so in my body. I could feel my body, but I couldn't feel when I left my body. I could visualize it and I saw all these starry things, but I couldn't feel it. It wasn't, kinesthetic. I couldn't get into the body part at all. And I thought, shit, I've got to save this one because this is my favorite kind of meditation. I love being out there mixing with people.
Yes.
But
Well,
yeah,
were you aware of like your posture and your leg? Is that what kept you in your body?
I was aware of the physical symptoms of having a leg surgery, a knee surgery.
Yeah.
I was aware of the sensations in my knee and the sensations of my body accommodating that.
Yep. Yeah, that is totally a surgery thing for sure. Because you can't, it's so hard to override the body, is essentially what we're doing in meditation is we're overriding like, yeah, we don't have a body. But when their body's got something going on, it could be a stomach ache, it could be a headache, it could be surgery. Like when there's something so deeply physical, yeah, it's really hard to override.
Yeah. Okay, good to know.
Yeah. I was curious how you were doing because I could go either way with you. I was like, oh, we started with the body. And we were with the thoughts and the rain and all of that with the body. And I was like, oh, I hope she's okay with this one. Because sometimes when you're having physical symptoms, the worst type of meditation sometimes to do is an in the body meditation because you're drawing attention to it. So if you have a headache, it's sometimes it's really not helpful to visualize yourself clearing the headache because it's only making the headache more aware, more you
Mhm.
aware of the headache. So I was worried, like,
Mhm.
oh, this could go either way with you.
Yeah, and they talk about, not doing body-based visualization with trauma survivors because
Oh, totally.
lot
Yeah.
the trauma's in the body.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's and the trauma is in your body right now. Surgery. Yep.
Right, yeah. But I'm gonna listen to it in a couple of weeks.
Perfect. How is everybody doing with your portal? Are anyone going in and able to has anyone gone in to like access their recordings afterwards at all? Yeah, good. How is it? Nice, easier to find the link
It's
there?
very easy. I kept the email that you sent, that first link. Phew, just click on that. I go back in email, I click on that and I'm in. So
So nice.
works. Yeah. And you watch it right in there. It comes up on YouTube though, on mine. Is that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. That's where I have to save everything because it's the only thing that it can save this much audio file. But we're the only ones, by the way, it's you can only the outside world can't access it. Only so it's even though it's on my YouTube channel, it's not on my public part of my YouTube where everybody's able to see it. So I'm glad you brought that up in case anyone was like, great. Her deep conversations and Deborah's brother, not Jesus, kissed her is on the internet now. This is going to go over really well. Oh my goodness. Anyone else want to share thoughts? Snide remark? Yeah, go ahead, Kelly.
Not related to tonight's expert. I'm going to take this off. I'm odd.
Hold on, can you hear me?
Yep.
I can't talk with those on my head. How weird is that? I was not feeling well last week, but I listened to the whole meditation last week and it was a really good one. I actually had a fever. Like I came home with some sort of virus or whatever, but so fire was my element last week, burning through, but had this whole thing about detachment, right? And what was the homework about detachment?
Yes. And I'm
Okay.
glad you're bringing it up. Perfect.
Well, all week, my family tested me. And I was like, oh my God, this was why I literally was like, that's their shit. I'm not attached to that. I'm going to notice that shit right there, but that's not mine. And it was so useful because like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, I would have without that little nugget of advice, I would have been wrapped up in the drama. And I was just like, I was detached. So I was really excited. Thank you for the detachment. It was like,
Well, one, thank you for bringing it up because I was like, we have to talk about our homework last week. And thank you for actually like doing it and putting it into practice because that's the whole point.
it was great. It was great, so, and I'm glad because it was like, it really was now looking back at it a week, as the week has progressed, not a single bit of it would have been worth me getting wrapped up in. And now I'm like, and I would have been like, oh really? You're coming at me or the drama. And I really was like, wow, even to the point that I was like, there was, without getting into like family drama crap, but like there's a relative who's an older relative who I was like, I think my role in her life at this moment might be to stir this up for her. Like I think, like I looked at it as like, it's not about her being mad at me or me mad at her or like whatever. Like, I think my role for her
Wow.
was that. I was like, that's pretty like, we've come somewhere,
Big time. That's your contracts. Like you're just playing out the contract type of thing.
I think so. So
Love
thank you
it.
for that. It was really good.
Oh,
And I
thank you.
loved the elements. I thought I would be water with the elements last week. And I guess because I was literally running a fever, it was fire, like burn it, burn it all.
Take it away, incinerate.
Incinerate it. Yeah. So it was good. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else practice this week with attachment, non-attachment, detachment? Anyone notice attachments that came up and got engaged in them? It really is like a powerful practice. It's powerful. You might want to like write the word. I think I'm going to for this week, like non-attachment or detach, make some sort of actual physical note in front of you to remind yourself, because our default mode network, for those of you who took that workshop 2 years ago that we did all about the brain, our default mode is just going to go back to our old habits if we don't really put these things in front of us. So you might want to just put like a reminder of stay detached or not my monkeys or whatever you want to, however you want to say it to yourself. As we get so fast, trigger response fast, which is crazy. I think, yeah. So anyone else have anything to share? If you forget about it. Sharon, were you going to say? Yeah, go ahead.
I just loved what everybody said. I totally like got into this. Was great. The experience was great. I forget who was sharing about the jelly stuff. I totally got into the Jesus shit. I was almost on the floor friggin' dying. Oh, good God. You know, there's going to be a meme for that. It was great. And once Kelly brought up the homework stuff, I'm like, oh my God, I really think that's another reason why my last week has been even better than the week before. I'm like, not my friggin' shit, not my friggin' circus. And I'm not working right now, so it's so much easier to do. Kelly's laughing because she gets it.
Yeah.
But we're surrounded by 40 crazy teachers and 500 insane kids. It's a lot harder to do that. But I think, Kelly, if we practice now, it will be so much easier in September. So I'm with you, girl.
So true. And what do you have any, like, without like going into detail of the situation, like walk me through what it feels like to detach or not attach?
I don't even know how to explain it, because I think I'm kind of just realizing it at the moment. And I don't feel like I feel lighter. I just physically, I feel lighter. Yeah. And just really not being around a lot of people helps. And my husband went out of town for 3 days and I'm like, yeah, I love you, but yes.
Totally.
I know. So yes, I'm really going to be thinking about that this week too. Again, really, really, really working on it. But yeah, thanks for that insight tonight.
Yeah, it is really a powerful practice. It really, really is. Like this talk about, it's like sticky. It's almost the opposite of the gel. It's like we get stuck or pulled or tethered to things, and then we have to react versus respond, or we always think we have to react or respond, where it's just sort of like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna let that be. How many of you have ever had a thought of like an embarrassing moment, right? That you've had, and it just hits you all of a sudden. It could be 2 years later, but all of a sudden you're just like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed I did that or said that or whatever. And it like sends you into this like, like this horrifying moment. Sometimes I'll like yell out loud, like, oh my God, like say it out loud. Like I'm so mortified. It's 2 years ago. But where was I going with that? I don't know. I lost it. I'm outing myself that I'm a mortifying human. I don't know. But that detachment of like, yeah, that was so like, that's a really great moment to use the art of detachment of like, yeah, I said that, or yes, I did that, or I behaved that way, or blah, blah, blah. And here I am right now. That's a good way to practice it. Yeah, go ahead, Joan.
Hey, I don't know if I was actually practicing detachment, but I was in such a good spot all week since Thursday that nothing freaking touched me. It was just no matter what, even here in the house. And yeah, so yeah,
I love that.
me too.
When there's joy in that heart and there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and when, life just seems to be moving forward.
And this whole weekend was like, everybody was calling me. I called my siblings on Friday. And then it was like, oh, the nieces and nephews are calling, and my heart was like, whew.
Do you want to share with everyone?
Sure, I'm going home. New York bound. Another New Yorker.
Going home, like to
excited
live, to
about it.
move, not just
Move, yes,
not just
Yes.
to visit.
to be there. I'm
Where?
coming back.
Where are you gonna where are you gonna move? Sorry.
I'm actually I'm gonna go in with my brother for a while. Because he's in the heart, I'm relocating with Hershey, transferring. So chocolate will be closer. I don't have to ship it anymore. But yeah, I'll be based he lives in Mechanicville, but my territory is going to be the Saratoga, Saranac Lake, all the mountains. I'm looking forward to it. Beautiful area. And Watervliet, my hometown, Troy, all that area will be part of my test. So
Yay, Joan is back.
yeah, I'm really happy about it too.
Yeah, that was a big a big
Wait
detour.
on,
Wait, you muted
Yeah.
yourself back.
Yeah, I know.
There you go.
it said that weighed on me for the last 3 years. So yeah.
That's amazing. And you'll be here soon, September.
Actually in the end of August, I'm actually coming up in 2 weeks to, I gotta get my driver's license again, New York State, but thankfully it's only a visual test, so I'll be good. Written test might've scared me a little bit, but.
That's hysterical. No, that's really exciting news.
Are you gonna do Lavenwood?
No, you just reminded me of that too. I know. Lavenwood on August 12th, we're rescheduling it. They forgot that they open the farm between 10 and 6 on Saturdays for the U-Pick to pick the wildflowers. So I was like, oh, like, how are we going to do that? And they said you could do it after 6. And I thought that's crazy. Like, how much darkness are we going to have? Mosquitoes at night. I was thinking like, I don't want to be itchy, dark, whatever. So we're going to restructure it probably for September. So you'll be around for it. Yep. So yes, in here for anyone who was planning to go on the 12th, that's been postponed, and I'll keep you posted. All right. Anyone else want to share? Let's see. What do I have coming up this week? Let's see. Hold on. Let me see. I don't think. Oh, Omega this weekend. That Friday, Saturday, Sunday at Omega in Rhinebeck. I'm actually a little bit more excited about this one than I was last time I did it, because they kind of shuffled staff around. So it's a new group. Well, 3 of us are returning, and there's, I think, 2 others, new people that are coming. So I'm excited about that. And I'm teaching this time. They didn't have me teaching last time. I had to like pay my dues. So I'm doing a gallery on Friday night, and then on Saturday I'm teaching a workshop. So that thrills me. And then in not August, October, week-long retreat at Omega, ETA, Energy Transformation Awareness. Even if you've taken it before, that might be, I know teachers too hard to get that time off. But that's a powerful class. I'm excited. I've never taught it a week straight. We usually do it over 3 weekends. So it'll be nice to be in one container for that. That'll be interesting. That'll be
Can't even
October.
imagine a whole week of that. That's- That's kind of intimidating.
If you know, you know, as
You
they
know,
say.
you know,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly.
that one
But you
is-
also have your gallery on the 10th, right? Aren't you
Oh,
doing an
yes,
online gallery?
yes. Yep, I
And
have an online gallery.
Cohoes in September.
Cohoes in September and I overbooked September. I have like waking up at night with anxiety for
no.
September, where I'm like, oh God, what did you do? But it'll be fine. Anticipatory anxiety is the best anxiety to have, I think. So lots going on. August, well, I'll see you all next Sunday, and then the following Thursday is the online gallery and Omega this weekend, but I'll be here Sunday night with all of you. So don't forget to take yourselves off of mute to say goodnight to each other. Little Socks just went into his little crib, so we're ready for bed.
He's cute. I just saw him pop his head up. He's
Oh, you
so
did?
cute. Yeah.
He's
He's little. He looks little for a German Shepherd. No?
he's tall and very still lean. He's probably like 50 pounds, but he's taller than Bailey.
Wow.
I
That's
know.
tall then. Yeah. Oh, there he is. He's so cute.
That one's Baker. That one's Baker. He's the little one. Oh, Baker. All right, he's coming over because I'm petting Baker. So, oh no, he's
Uh-oh.
not. I love this dog so much. It's ridiculous. It's pathetic. I'm so in love with him. He's not coming over. So maybe next time he'll make an appearance. So everyone have a good night. We'll see you next week.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Take care.
Ice that knee.
Bye.
Ice that knee, Jill.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.